What is real? What does it truly mean for something to exist? This is a question that has haunted humanity for centuries, a riddle wrapped in an enigma, constantly challenging our perceptions and assumptions about the world around us. This question has echoed through history, resonating through the ages in different forms and contexts. It has been pondered by ancient philosophers in their quest for wisdom, and it continues to be investigated by modern scientists, pushing the boundaries of knowledge. Two distinct paths, seemingly unrelated, have sought answers to this fundamental question. One path was embarked upon by a prince named Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, a man who renounced his privileged life. He was seeking an end to suffering, a way to transcend the limitations of the human condition. The other path is that of physicists, rigorously exploring the perplexing and often counterintuitive quantum world. At first glance, these journeys seem worlds apart, separated by methodology and purpose. One is spiritual, deeply rooted in meditation, introspection, and the exploration of consciousness. The other is scientific, grounded in the precision of mathematics, empirical observation, and controlled experiment. Yet both paths, in their own unique ways, challenge our fundamental assumptions. They force us to reconsider what we believe to be solid, separate, and ultimately, real. The Buddha's journey began with a profound sense of dissatisfaction, a deep unease with the nature of existence. He was deeply moved by seeing suffering in all life, the inevitability of pain, aging, and death. Driven by compassion, he left behind his life of luxury and privilege to seek answers within the depths of his own mind. Through intense meditation and introspection, he realized profound truths about the nature of reality. He gained insights into the interconnectedness of all things, the illusory nature of the self, and the relationship between reality and consciousness. He then began urging others to investigate these truths for themselves, to embark on their own journey of self-discovery. Quantum science, meanwhile, began with a puzzle, a perplexing anomaly that defied classical understanding. Scientists discovered that at the atomic level, the familiar rules of classical physics simply broke down, leading to unexpected and bizarre phenomena. Physicists discovered a world, a realm of reality. In this realm, particles could exist in multiple places at once, a concept known as superposition, challenging our intuitive understanding of location and existence. Even more strangely, they found that the very act of observation changed outcomes, blurring the line between observer and observed. This was the quantum revolution, a paradigm shift that shook the foundations of physics. It began reshaping our understanding of the universe at its most fundamental level, forcing us to question the very nature of reality. Both paths, the spiritual journey of the Buddha and the scientific exploration of quantum physics, are separated by millennia of history. Yet, despite their different origins and methodologies, they converge on startlingly similar ideas about the nature of reality. They both invite us to question the very nature of reality itself, to look beyond the surface of our everyday experience. What if the world is not as solid or separate as it seems? What if our perceptions are merely a limited interpretation of a much deeper, more interconnected reality? Let's explore how these two extraordinary journeys, seemingly so different, ultimately intersect and illuminate the profound mysteries of existence. The Buddha, in his profound wisdom, articulated three fundamental characteristics of existence: impermanence, the understanding that nothing remains static; suffering, the inherent dissatisfaction that arises in life; and no self, the realization that there is no fixed independent entity we can call I. These three marks offer a framework for understanding the nature of reality. First, impermanence, anicca, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, means everything without exception is in constant flux, perpetually transforming. Nothing stays the same, not for even a moment. Like a river, ever flowing and never the same water twice, our lives, thoughts, emotions, and even seemingly solid objects are all subject to this universal principle. They are dynamic processes, always changing, evolving, and dissolving. Second, dukkha, suffering, arises from our inherent resistance to this constant change, our unwillingness to accept the impermanent nature of things. We crave permanence, security, and lasting satisfaction in a world that, by its very nature, offers none. This clinging, this grasping for what cannot be held, is the very root of our dissatisfaction and unease. Third, anatta, no self, teaches that there is no permanent, unchanging, independent self or soul residing within us. What we habitually call I is simply a collection of ever-shifting physical and mental components, constantly interacting and influencing each other. The self is not a static entity, but rather a dynamic process, a continuous flow of experience. To truly understand reality, the Buddha urged us to look inward, to cultivate self-awareness, not relying solely on external sources like texts or the pronouncements of authorities. Meditation is the tool. Through the practice of mindfulness, we observe, with detached awareness, the impermanence of our own thoughts, feelings and sensations, seeing the interconnected web of causes and conditions that are constantly shaping our experience, moment by moment. This is an active, empirical exploration of consciousness, a direct investigation into the nature of reality. The Buddha's path is not about passive belief or blind faith, but about direct investigation, personal inquiry, and experiential understanding. Reality, he taught, is not something to be accepted on authority, but something to be discovered through personal experience and mindful awareness. The river of change flows through everything, and understanding this flow is key to liberation. Now, let's shrink to the quantum world where reality is stranger than fiction. Here, wave-particle duality reigns. Electrons and photons act as both particles and waves. Superposition means a quantum particle exists in all possible states until measured. Like a spinning coin, it's both heads and tails, until it lands, and we look. Measurement collapses this cloud of possibilities into a single outcome. The uncertainty principle says we can't know certain pairs of properties, like position and momentum, precisely at the same time. This isn't a flaw in our tools, it's built into reality. At the quantum level, uncertainty and probability rule. Entanglement reveals profound interconnectedness. Two particles can be linked, acting as one system no matter the distance. Measure one, and you instantly know the other. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. Quantum science shows the universe as a seamless web, not a collection of separate objects. Everything is connected in a dance of possibilities. Ancient wisdom, echoing through the ages, and modern science with its relentless pursuit of truth. Both challenge our fundamental sense of a solid, independent world, a world we often take for granted. A table seems undeniably solid and separate, a fixed point in our daily lives. But the Buddha, with his profound insight, saw it as a temporary collection, a fleeting arrangement, a collection of interdependent parts, a web of interconnectedness. Wood, the very essence of its being, sunlight nourishing the tree from which it came, labor, the skill and effort that shaped it, and so much more contributing to its existence. Its tableness, that defining characteristic, is ultimately a mental construct, an idea we impose upon it, a label we use for a constantly shifting pattern of changing sensations, a dance of perception. Quantum science, in its own way, profoundly agrees. Zoom in close enough and solidity dissolves into a swarm of atoms, the building blocks of everything. Mostly empty space, a vast and seemingly infinite void. With particles themselves existing as clouds of probability, a haze of potential rather than fixed points. The table, then, is not a static object but an energetic event, a dynamic process unfolding in time. Not a solid, immutable thing as it first appears to our senses. Both traditions, seemingly disparate, ask a fundamental question: where does reality truly reside? What is the nature of existence itself? Is it solely out there, independent of us, or is it in some profound way co-created by the very act of observation? The Buddha taught with unwavering conviction that reality is inseparable from consciousness, that these two are intertwined. Our world, as we perceive it, is fundamentally shaped by the lens of our mind and the input of our senses. Quantum physics, with its perplexing observer effect, echoes this sentiment, suggesting that the properties of reality aren't definitively fixed until the moment they are measured, until we look. Observation, therefore, brings a specific reality from a vast and boundless sea of possibilities, a spectrum of potential outcomes. Both paths, the ancient and the modern, point towards a participatory universe, a cosmos in which we are active participants, blurring the seemingly clear line between the observer and the observed, between subject and object. What we perceive as solid and separate, as fixed and unchanging, may ultimately be a grand illusion, a trick of the light, a construct of our minds. Reality, it seems, is far more mysterious and nuanced and far more interconnected than it initially appears to our limited perception. The very act of seeing, of perceiving, fundamentally shapes what is ultimately seen, influencing the very fabric of our reality. Both Buddhism and quantum science reject the idea of a solid, static reality. Our senses show us a world of enduring objects, but both traditions say this is an illusion. The Buddha's anicca, impermanence, teaches that all things, even mountains and rocks, are in constant change. Meditation reveals this flux directly. Thoughts and sensations arise and vanish with no unchanging substance behind them. The world is a series of verbs, not nouns. Quantum physics describes matter as vibrating fields, not solid stuff. A rock is a dense pattern of quantum vibrations, not a block of matter. Solidity is an emergent property, like a TV image made of flickering pixels. If everything is process, not thing, our relationship to the world changes. The boundary between us and the world blurs. In Buddhism, this dissolves clinging and suffering. In quantum science, it reveals a holistic, interconnected universe. Both dismantle the illusion of isolated, static blocks. Reality is a flowing, interconnected dance. Both traditions highlight the observer's role in shaping reality. Classical science saw the observer as a bystander, but quantum physics shows measurement changes what's observed. The observer effect means reality isn't fixed until it's measured. In Buddhism, all experience is filtered through mind. Reality is shaped by perception and thought. There's no world separate from consciousness. Both suggest the sharp divide between inner and outer worlds is an illusion. The observer is an active participant, not a passive spectator. We help create the reality we experience. Despite parallels, Buddhism and quantum science have different goals. Quantum science describes the physical universe, asking how, but not why. Its aim is prediction and understanding, not meaning or liberation. Buddhism is a path to end suffering, focused on transforming the mind and experience. Its teachings are practical tools for peace, wisdom, and compassion. Science looks outward, at particles and forces. Buddhism looks inward, at consciousness and suffering. Science can explain the brain's chemistry, but not the feeling of joy. Buddhism seeks to purify the mind and uncover its true nature, nirvana. Each tradition serves a different human need. Together they offer a fuller picture of reality and purpose. Their methods reflect their aims. Quantum science uses hypothesis, experiment, and mathematics, building knowledge through objective, repeatable data. Its tools are particle accelerators, detectors, and supercomputers. Buddhism's method is meditation, training the mind to observe consciousness directly. Insights are tested by their transformative effect, not by external experiment. Science excels at explaining the what and how of the physical world. Buddhism addresses meaning, value, and how to live well. Each toolkit explores a different dimension of reality. Neither is superior, both are essential. Together they enrich our understanding of the world and ourselves. What can we learn from these two traditions? Ancient introspection and modern science both reveal a reality deeper than appearances. Their parallels are striking, but their differences matter. Science models the external world. Buddhism transforms the inner world. Both inspire humility and wonder, reminding us how much we have yet to understand. In a fragmented age, their dialogue invites us to bridge head and heart. By embracing both, we can learn not just how the universe works, but how to live wisely with it.